All right, what's up, everybody? We're here at Neighborhood Icons podcast where we interview iconic people in iconic places. Right now, we're doing this thing a little bit differently. My guest has a busy schedule, so we went ahead and met her where we're at. So we're not necessarily in an iconic place, but there is some very big people in the house. We have the Team USA Boxing is having the International Invitational Tournament happening right next door at the Public Convention Center. Today's the finals, and right now we're here with Jajaira, right? Jajaira Gonzalez. She's just qualified for Paris 2024 Olympics for USA Boxing. How does that feel?
Honestly, to me, it still doesn't feel real. Like, I feel like I'm kind of living in a dream almost.
Yeah.
But then when I do get people like wanting to interview me or like take pictures and stuff, I'm like, oh dang, like I did do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not really gonna hit me until like I'm actually in Paris.
Right.
I think that's when everything's gonna be like, oh, like I'm here.
And you've been like, because you've been a part of USA Boxing on the team, or how does that work actually? Because I know there's, on Team USA, they've had like youngsters on the team, but obviously they're not qualifying for Olympics. And you've been around with Team USA since you're really young, right?
Yeah, since I was 16.
16. And you've traveled to multiple countries at this point, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What's the cool spot?
I really liked China. China was cool. I went for the Youth Olympic Games in 2014. I was 17. And I think just like the experience of it, because we were like at the Youth Olympic Village, it was kind of like the Olympic Games, but for youth.
I see.
So like, I think up to like 18 years old.
So that's kind of like the biggest you could do as a youth, basically.
And I got a gold medal there.
Nice.
So it was really cool, like just being around like all the athletes from different sports, like all in the same village, and it was just a really cool experience. That's my favorite for sure. And
so you won that. I was actually looking at your records on USA Boxing. You got like a ton of first place, all the way back to, was it that one? Was that the first one, or what one was the first big one that kind of was like first place?
My first big one was my first world tournament. That was in Bulgaria in 2013.
And
as a junior.
What was that like? Like, what was that like winning that? Was it just kind of like, did you understand like how big it was?
Yeah, I understood how big it was. I was very happy, but I don't know what it is with me. Like, I'm just never satisfied.
No.
So I just knew, like, after I won, like, yeah, I was happy, but I was just like, okay, like, I still got more. I got to keep it up, like.
So was it even at that age? Was the mindset, I'm going to the Olympics in the future?
Yeah.
At what point was it like, this is what I want to do? Like, at what point?
I think it was really when women were allowed to box in the Olympics, because that didn't come around till 2012.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I was just training just for like,
fun,
tournament. Yeah, like just for tournaments and stuff, and just like being number one and like, the U.S. and my weight class. But once women were allowed to compete in the Olympics, I was like, I want to do that.
So you were boxing already at, you said 16 is when you started.
I started when I was 8.
Oh, you started when you were 8?
Yeah, but I started with Team USA when I was 16.
Okay, so you've been boxing basically your whole life.
Yeah.
And then at one point, it was like, okay, now women are going to be able to qualify for the Olympics.
Right.
How old were you when that kind of news broke out?
I suck at math, but that was 2012 when I started seeing like all the commercials. I think I was about like 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's also when you started with Team USA. So it was like kind of a good happy accident right there.
Right.
And have you had the opportunity to maybe qualify before now?
In a way, I went to trials in 2016 and I came up short. There was a lot of controversy over that. And
what was the controversy?
I just felt like I won the trials, and I felt like I should have had the opportunity to go and compete, because even after, like, you can win trials for the U.S., but you still have to go to a qualifying tournament that's going to qualify you for the Olympic Games. So I felt like I should have been the one given that chance to go to the qualifier, but everything happens for a reason, It did affect me though, because I feel like after that I kind of saw boxing a little bit differently, because I was just like beating myself up like in my head, like I did everything right. I worked my ass off, and I still was given a loss that I didn't feel like I deserved. And I just was kind of like unmotivated really. And it kind of made me like not really take boxing as serious as I used to. And that kind of set me back as well.
And was that like your big loss, like your big first loss, or was it more so about it seemed like it wasn't set up correctly, or
Nah, that was really like my first big loss.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And how, and sorry again, were you 16 at this point, or were you?
I was 19 now.
You were 19. Okay. So you've been just kind of tearing it up the whole time.
Yeah.
And this
was I 19? No, I was 18.
Okay.
I was 18, turning 19.
And this is the big first ever kind of like loss, I guess,
Yeah.
or you're not. How does it work? Does the coach say, "Hey, you're going with us to Olympics," or is it you have to win so many games?
It depends. A lot has changed. Back then, it was like you win trials, which is a tournament, right? So like the top 8 women go. They have to qualify for trials. It's a process. You have to qualify for trials. You got to go to tournament, and then like top 2 from like each tournament, they all go to trials.
I see.
So then they all compete against each other, and there's like 8 of them. So when I was there, 2015, it's top 8. So we go there, and then it was double elimination. So you compete against each other. If you lose, you go to the losers bracket, and then the same person that lost that day, then they compete, and then you like keep working your way.
So even if you get a loss, you have the chance to come back.
To continue, yeah. Which is what happened to me. I won my first fight, and then my second fight, I lost to the winner of the trials. I didn't feel like I lost. A lot of people didn't feel like I lost, and I was so upset because I knew like in my heart that I won. So I was like, okay. So I just remember like being over, like jump roping, like I got to fight tomorrow, like again, you know, work my way back up. So I fought continuously every day until I worked my way back to the top, and we met again, me and her in the finals. It was supposed to be the final, and I won unanimously. And I was like, okay. So we ended up, because of that, since she had beat me first fight split decision, and then I beat her unanimously, we're 1-1. She has a 1 win, I have 1 win. So they ended up having to extend the tournament an extra day. Yeah, so some of the officials, like they had to change their flights and stay an extra day because...
Got to figure out who's winning.
Right. So we compete again, and I lost on the split.
Wow.
And I didn't think I lost. You know, maybe I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch it, but we couldn't record or anything, so I don't have like the footage or anything. Nobody really has the footage. And yeah, it was.
And that's and
it was
did
tough.
you have the opportunity to like really talk about that, or is it just like you lost? That's it. There's nothing like.
Yeah.
That's just.
That's just.
And you got to kind of just deal with that on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And did you have anyone there to like support you in that situation, or was it just kind of?
Yeah, like my father's my coach, so my father was there, and my other brother was there too, and I had like a few people that had stayed back to watch, because everyone, you know, the tournament's supposed to be over, so a lot of people went home. Clarissa was there, Clarissa Shields, our 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and she was trying so hard to, like, she's cool with both of us, like she's friends with both of us, but she came up to me, she tried so hard to be strong, but she just felt so bad, and she just started crying, and she was like, I'm so sorry. Like, so
she kind of felt that same way.
Yeah, she seemed like what it was, like, I'm so sorry, like, you deserved that win, like, and I was just like, hands on my hips, like, you know, I'm breathing kind of hard because I just finished fighting, and, you know, people are coming up to me like, you won that fight, but it didn't hit me for real till my dad came up to me. As soon as my dad came up to me, I just started crying, and he just like hugged me, and he was just like, it's okay, and I was like, no, it's not, like, yeah.
And do you think that is that because like you have your family's boxers also, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your dad's boxer, your brother's boxer. Yeah, how many brothers do you have?
4.
Are they all boxers?
4 brothers, 1 sister. No, not all of them are boxers.
Okay.
Yeah. So
when you saw your dad, you say you broke down crying. Do you think that's just because, like, why do you think that is that was kind of the moment where you're like, this really happened? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm like very sensitive when it comes to my dad. Like if my dad yells at me and like raises his voice, I get like, you know, I start like choking up a little bit. But I really think it's because like he's my coach. And not only like he's my dad as well, but I just kind of felt like I let him down.
Yeah.
So for him to like, you know, just hug me and like tell me like it's okay and stuff like that, it just, I don't know, it hurt me in that moment. And I was like, damn.
And he
I'm
was your
sorry.
coach in the match too?
Mm-hmm.
So he was in the ring with you?
Yeah.
And what did he, I mean, obviously he probably felt the same way. Right?
Yeah, for sure. But my dad's like pretty quiet and stuff, so he don't really say much. It's just like I know me and my dad be here, you know, like
Yeah.
we be knowing.
It's like telepathic.
Yeah, so like he didn't have to say anything.
Yeah. And 1 second, I'm like paranoid that this isn't recording.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, we're good.
Okay.
I get paranoid sometimes because I can't see.
It's okay. I'm a paranoid person myself.
Yeah. I'm like, wait. So you suffered this loss, and is this where, you know, you kind of, I guess, like, how did you deal with it? Is that when you kind of took the step back?
No, it wasn't. I was still trying to be strong, but like I said, it changed the way that I looked at boxing.
And when you say that, do you mean like this is kind of
I just was
like a rigged system, or like
yeah, for sure.
Like it's a favoritism type of deal?
Yep, for sure. That's how I looked at it. And like I said, like I just wasn't taking it as serious as I used to. Where I used to like run 7 miles before school, like every day type of thing, to now is like, I'll run some other time. Like,
yeah, they already know who they're gonna put in there anyway.
Yeah, like I wasn't working as hard. I had joined the military to box for the military.
Oh, wow.
Really, because like I wanted to take that weight off my father's shoulders of like, you know, because if I was in the military, like they were gonna be supporting me with, you know, my travel and tournaments to get to. I didn't want my dad to be the one like having to like find like money or like ask people to borrow money so we can get to these tournaments. And also because I was upset with USA Boxing, like
yeah.
I was just like, oh, like I won that. But yeah, I didn't last too long in the military. It just wasn't for me. I felt like I was going backwards training with them. And then I was also going through like family issues. Around that time, I was in a very toxic relationship during that time too.
Yeah.
So I think everything just kind of was like, fuck this, fuck that. Like
yeah,
I just
didn't
like,
really
care.
Everything a little bit.
Yeah, and then I took the break. I trained like not even 2 weeks before a national tournament. And I'm not like, I'll admit, like I was like, ain't nobody gonna beat me. Like who gonna beat me here? Yeah. I didn't beat all these girls that are going.
Yeah, because
like,
you already, it's kind of a repetitive thing after a while.
Right, and I was like, whatever. But really, I wasn't training because since I was in such a toxic relationship, I didn't want to leave because I was just like, when I leave to go home to train, like he gonna be sneaky behind my back. Like I was just worried about the wrong things. Like
you guys were in camp together, right?
Who?
Your toxic relationship you're talking about? No?
Nah, we wasn't.
Okay.
He was professional already at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was living in Virginia, but I know I needed to go home to train, and I just was like,
you didn't want to
leave. Like
you didn't want to have the separation with the worry on your head.
Exactly.
That something's gonna happen.
Yep, I was worried about the wrong stuff. So when I finally go train, I'm like struggling to lose weight, like cut weight really late. That affected me as well. And then I go and I lose to a girl that I TKO'd 3 times before.
Wow. And
that was like, okay, I need to step back.
Right?
Like, yeah, like this isn't me. Like what am I doing? So that's when I took the step back. And I really just wanted to take the year off and then come back like for nationals at the end of the year again, but then COVID happened.
Right.
So with COVID happening, like I had picked up a lot of bad habits, and I gained like 35 pounds. Oh, wow. I was huge. I think the highest that I ever got was 167. And I just wasn't happy, you know, same situation with my family, like a lot of stuff had happened like in between that too. And I was still in the toxic relationship, and it just took a huge toll on me. And I just was like, I don't want to do this shit.
So I'm gonna go back to the toxic relationship a little bit.
Okay.
So, number one thing I wanted to mention to you was, like, at that time, you're boxing. He's professional, right? Your brother's professional, and your dad's coaching your brother also. So he's technically a professional coach as well.
Right.
So you're surrounded by professional boxing, and what I thought was interesting, you know, when I was looking into your story and stuff, and kind of looking in, you know, that was actually really publicized, right? Like, how does that feel? Because, like, when I'm looking into it, I'm like, this is messed up, because that's not a normal situation to deal with the media on your relationship.
Yeah.
And how did that feel in that moment, like having like a whole situation where you're dealing with your thing with him clearly, and you also got this whole entity that's just like blowing shit out of proportion, doing other things, reporting on it. It's like, why?
Yeah. No, it was very hard, because I feel like a lot of people judged me and like came up with like their own little narrative about me and like my family. And even though like it was like a toxic relationship, we were both very young, you know, and at the end of the day, like that person did a lot for me, you know, when I felt like I didn't have anybody. Like, he took care of me and stuff like that. So it was hard. Like, I just remember like I just was shut down. It was bad. People started to say like I turned my back on my family and this and that. But I had already been with that person for 3 years.
Yeah, and that's
and
because
then the fight happened.
Yeah, that's
like,
because their fight, right?
Right. And my situation with my family, like it was already the way that it was 3 years before the fight even happened. So people were just saying like, oh, like I turned my back on my family and I chose a man. Or that's not the case. Like,
and to give context to people watching, your brother, who was professional, he was sanctioned to fight your boyfriend, right?
At the time, yeah.
And they didn't really, they didn't have a great relationship anyway, right?
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, because I didn't have that relationship with my brother.
Yeah, okay.
Anymore. Because, I don't know, I think it was because, like, I was so sheltered growing up, and I just was, like, scared to, like, have guy friends and, like, talk to guys, because I knew, like, I would get in trouble. So finally, like, when I got into a relationship, first relationship at 19 years old, my brother didn't like that.
Super protective.
Super protective. So he just kind of was like, And then I think he's seen, like, the way that I was treating boxing. So I think because of that, like, he blamed that person too, like, oh, like, you're shifting her focus. But I take all the blame. Like, it was me. Like, I should have been more focused. But I just, like I said, I was worried about the wrong stuff.
And I mean, at the time, you're probably thinking like, damn, just let me be. Like, I love this person, I want to be with them.
Right.
Not understanding their perspective of like, no, you have greatness in your future.
Yeah.
And you can't be distracted.
Yeah.
And is that something that you've kind of realized now that you didn't realize then?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And going back to that, like, so it was a three-year relationship.
It was like almost 5.
Off and on 5.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Can't really calculate a solid number, right? And was it the fight that kind of was the thing that kind of ended the whole? No?
Not at all. A lot of people think that too, but I just feel like I got tired.
And so let me try to figure this out. So it's all happening at once. You have this situation within yourself of stopping boxing. The relationships kind of come into a high boiling point, which is causing a high boiling point situation with your family. And that, when we say your family, is it just your brother? Or is your brother and your dad too, or kind of everybody?
It's mainly it started off with like 3 of my brothers, right?
Oh,
but then eventually they were, you know, adults and missed their little sister and stuff like that, big sister. And then my dad was cool up until the point where the fight was announced and it had to be made. And my dad didn't have no problem like vocalizing that stuff on YouTube and the interviews and stuff like ESPN, and
the media's
he
throwing gas on the whole thing.
right, and he basically chose my brother, which I understand. That's his coach, it's his firstborn, whatever. But like seeing all that stuff like really did affect me like mentally, especially I'm in Virginia, all my family's in California, like people coming back and forth from Virginia too. So there are times where I'm just alone and it's just me and my little dog. But my dog really did help me a lot because I just felt like who's gonna protect. Because I look at my dog like my son, Like
What's
I
dog's
love him.
name?
His name's Bam.
What kind of dog?
Little Yorkie.
Shout out to
He's
Bam.
so cute. Yes, look at.
We'll have to throw a little picture on.
This is my little Bam.
Yeah, we'll have to throw a Bam on there.
So when I did feel like giving up, because it did feel like that, just being so lonely, I would just like, nah, because if I give up, like, who's going to take care of Bam? Like,
When you say give up, like, what do you mean by that?
I was just so tired. I was in a very dark spot. So I just...
And you're not training though. So you're not, like, what are you doing at that time?
Nothing.
Just nothing?
Literally nothing.
Just kind of, I guess, supporting him maybe? Like.
Yeah, for a while. And then I was just like, I need to get up and do something. So I went and got like a regular job at a kickboxing gym. And then I was just big. And people would tell me like, wow, like you're really good at like your punches. You're so fast. And I'd be in my head like, oh, if only you knew.
Yeah,
like,
you don't
I
know
used
that.
to compete for Team USA. Like, and then I just remember like sitting at work one day on my break. And I was like scrolling through Instagram and I seen USA Boxing was at a tournament in Spain. And I'm looking and I'm like, I should be there. Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And then I just started training and I started taking it serious. I moved back home to California and I just felt like that was the best thing for me to do.
Wow. So
to leave that.
You kind of hit a point where not only was it a dark place, but you're all alone because you don't have your family to say, hey, your boyfriend's situation is messed up, and you just got Bam. Like, yeah. And when you went and picked up the job, you're ending the relationship. Or you're just like, I just need something to do. Yeah. Yeah. Basically. And the way the media like painted the whole thing was basically that like you supported your boyfriend and saying like, yeah, I hope he wins. And that was like the problem. Was that the problem? The big deal was that you weren't saying.
I don't know. I think I think the media
clearly you
wanted
want both
me
people to win, right? Like you can't have that.
If I'm being honest, like if we're being completely honest.
We're being honest, yeah.
At that time, I had love for that man.
Yeah.
But regardless of my brother being the way that he was for 3 years prior to that and stuff like that, I wanted my brother to win. Yeah. Because I remember, like, I went to Vegas, and I didn't go to the arena, right? I stayed at the Airbnb where everyone else was at. They're obviously all at the fight. I stayed back. And I didn't want to watch the fight, but I watched it. Right. And I watched it on my phone.
Okay, on your phone.
Yeah. And I just remember, like, it slipping out when I'm watching the fight, and I'm, like, telling my brother, like, talking to my brother, like, oh, do this, do that, like, and that's when I knew, like.
You couldn't even lie to yourself at that point who you wanted to win.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And you're just you're in your hotel alone.
And in the Airbnb.
And you probably chose not to go just because of all the drama, right?
Yeah, for sure. But they definitely let everybody know that I was in Vegas. I don't know how they knew I was in Vegas. Cause
they figure out everything.
Yeah, because I didn't post nothing. Like, they're like, she is here. I think it was in Vegas, right? The fight?
It should be, because back then nothing was really going on in other places, really.
I think it was Las Vegas. I don't know.
No, it wasn't, actually. I don't know where it was, but it wasn't in Vegas. I don't. Because when I was looking
Nevada?
at it, I don't think so.
I don't know.
Either way.
Wherever it was. I was there by myself.
And it wasn't really a close fight, right?
No.
And at the end, they interview Shakur and he mentions you.
Yeah.
how, how did you feel watching that? Like, oh man, like, why'd you say that? Like, or like, yeah, I'm glad he said that. Like, any feelings towards that?
Um,
'Cause I feel like if it was me, I just like my heart would sink. Like, oh man, why are you doing that?
nah, I think I was just like over everything. I didn't really like care.
Yeah.
It was just like whatever just happened. Like nothing's gonna change that, you know.
Yeah.
But I was upset, and he knew I was upset because whenever he came back, like he could tell on my face. But he was like very sweet and stuff, and was just like hugging me, like I'm sorry. I'm like, you don't have to be sorry.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. That's in the past.
And are you guys good now? Your family and you?
Me and my dad are good. We're great. My brother's still having
Not
a
so
hard
much.
time. Yeah.
Is that something you hope in the future changes?
I feel like I would always have that hope, but at the same time, I had to kind of let go of that.
Yeah.
And it took me a
Gotta
while.
move on.
Yeah. So now I'm just like.
Well, I hope that changes. I mean, I think that's important. But that brings me to this point of it was always, even watching interviews with you, it kind of annoyed me because to be honest, I didn't know that. I didn't know any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of actually what brought me onto you was obviously that I'm working here, and then
Mm-hmm.
I started looking into everybody, and I saw that article that Luke made, The Tale of Two Halves.
Mm-hmm.
I love that article, and once I looked into it more, that's when I found all that about. When I was looking at other interviews, they're like referring to you as his girlfriend,
Yeah.
his brother, his daughter, and now at this point, I didn't know any of that. So now it's you.
Yeah.
Like you're on the come up, making a name for yourself to where it's no longer about that. I found out about that stuff after.
Yeah.
Like have you kind of thought about how that worked? Like how does that like, and it had to annoy you a little bit, like
No,
like,
it definitely did. Like, especially after I qualified, I had seen like a lot of comments like, "Oh, isn't this such and such ex?" and "Oh, that's the one that
yeah,
turned," or "That's such and such sister." And I just was like, I'm my own person.
Right.
Like, stop attaching me to shit. Like, I'm doing this shit for me. Like, stop attaching me to all these other people. Like, regardless of who it is, like, I'm me and I did this. Like,
Right.
don't. It did annoy me, but then at the same time, I have to understand, like, this is what comes with this stuff. Like, as long as I'm just, everyone's always gonna have something to say.
yeah.
Like, and I'm just now starting to like get better at managing that part because I am a little hot-headed.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
sure.
I think it's real cool that you're now getting this, and I think it's definitely turning a corner where that's no longer like a conversation, but that's also one of those things. But like we're talking about women in sports, and women in anything really, it's like always people are always trying to attach it to something.
Yeah.
And I think women are coming up right now.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like it's time for women's sports to blow up. I was looking at it, and you got like Sha'Carri Richardson, who's an Olympian for track and field. Even Caitlin Clark, was like blew up on NCAA, got her WNBA contract.
Angel Reese as well.
Angel Reese, just a lot of good stuff. And when it comes to boxing, like women boxing, it hasn't really been like a big star.
Yeah,
yet,
you don't really hear much.
Like you had like Layla
boxing.
Ali, but it was like, okay, I mean, not to take anything away from her, but like there was no like big fights or anything that you could really attach that to. But then you look at UFC, and they've done like a great job of like putting in Ronda Rousey, and then someone beat her, Holly Holm, and like they've developed a whole segment for women's boxing. I was talking to my friend the other day, and I was like, why not just put like professional women bouts on like an undercard or something to get that started? Has that kind of crossed your mind? What's your opinions on that, the state of boxing and women's sports?
Yeah, I feel like we don't get a lot of credit. We don't get enough credit. But I feel like over the years, the women in boxing now have done an amazing job of like building that for us. So I'm super grateful. But another person too that I actually really respect is Jake Paul,
Really?
because he's actually like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, like at first when he said he wanted to box and stuff, I was like, bro, like this isn't a game. Like you're playing with our sport. But then I started to see like what he's actually doing for boxing, and not even just boxing, but like women's boxing. And he got all my respect in the world.
What's he doing? I might not be aware.
So Amanda Serrano, I think she's Puerto Rican. She does every weight class, really. Like she'll go up, she'll go down because she want to fight. But Jake Paul, she signed with Jake Paul, and he didn't give her like the biggest paycheck she's ever made in professional women's boxing. Like it's crazy.
So he does promotions now?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
I guess he does promote those.
Yeah.
And so
it was a big fight, and it was the main event. Like the women were the main event, and I thought that was so dope. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna have to look more into that because honestly, I was with you on that kind of the protest of, you know, I'm not a boxer, but I've been a fight fan my whole life, friends with a lot of boxers, and I was just like, come on, man, that's a joke, you know. But you actually got to meet him, hang out with him, talk to him like a couple weeks back, right?
Right.
What was that like? Did you get to talk to him a little bit about that?
No, I didn't really like bring it up. I'm like very chill, so more and more people are like, oh my god, it's I'm just like, what's
up, dude?
Like, but he's like super cool. Like he's actually like super humble, and I love to see like how he can be like super chill, and then like when it's, you know, time to show up and show out or whatever, he's like a totally different person.
Really? Like once the cameras come on and stuff?
Yeah, like I think it's so cool how he can just like flip the switch.
Yeah.
But it's like marketing, you know, like he's doing his job, and he's great at it, and he does work hard. You know, a lot of people think like, oh, he's gonna be competing in the Olympics. Like, no.
Right.
He's just
helping market,
us.
right?
Yeah, he's helping us, and people you know, like I said, people are always gonna have something to say, but all my respect to him, because who else is doing that?
Yeah.
How many other Olympians in the past are coming back and doing that besides Richard Torres? Like, yeah, so I respect it. I respect him.
Well, hopefully this is kind of a leading on to something bigger, that he's definitely a person that could pull something together like that.
Yeah.
To bring more of a spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're listening, you better bring it up. And you know what's crazy is because I've been marketing the event here, this tournament, to Pueblo and the surrounding cities. I've been trying to get people to come, you know, doing TV and radio and all this stuff, trying to get people to come. And what I noticed is this year I think we had a decent turnout for the community, but like we want to fill that place up. And people don't understand the magnitude of what USA Boxing is.
Yeah.
So you guys are better than some of the professionals for sure.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
Me and my girls can't wait. Because we can't wait to go pro and be like, yo, we here now. Like, you think you top dog? Nah.
Yeah. Because me and my friend are talking about it, and we're like it totally makes sense, because you guys are competing against the best in the world right now. And sure, it's amateur boxing, but it's really not, because you guys are doing it on a world global scale.
Yeah.
And you guys are choosing, you're making a choice to say, I'm not going to go pro because I want to chase this, right?
Olympic dream, Olympic gold medal, yeah.
And I guess it's like one of those things where, like, have you had any promoters approach you or anyone approach you about doing a professional bout or anything like that? Not yet? Well, that's a shame. They should.
Oh, but I like it though, because I don't like to like. I used to do this a lot, and it used to mess me up. I don't like to think ahead. Like I like to just kind of like live in the moment and just take it like one day at a time.
Right.
Like my dad tells me all the time, like, yeah, you're an Olympian now, but that's nothing. Like my dad always humbles me. He's like, that's nothing. Like you still have to go to Paris, and you still have to compete. And I'm like, you're right.
And after the competition, first of all, have you thought like Have you thought about the magnitude of holding a gold medal in Paris? Like, have
Yeah.
you kind of thought about that?
For sure.
What do you
For sure.
what do
I
you
just
like? What do you think
get
about it?
excited. I'm like, yo, I can't wait till like I have my gold medal, and I'm like, I picture myself like on the podium. Yeah.
With the confetti and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I picture that a lot. Like, I wonder how it's gonna be. Like, I'd be picturing like what our podium outfits are gonna be looking like. Yeah, I'm excited.
And how would that affect you, or I guess your life, people around you?
I think a lot of opportunities would come in after that. Because anybody could be professional, but not everyone could be an Olympic gold medalist.
Right. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest sports, that
Yeah.
sporting moments that you could possibly achieve. And you'd be able to go, if you win, you should be able to go again and win multiple medals if you choose, right?
Right. Yeah, I could choose to stay back for 2028, which will be in LA.
Oh.
So I'm like,
yeah, you should do that.
Yeah,
That'd be dope.
me being from California, like I think that'd be super dope to go to the Olympics, like at
LA,
home.
yeah. And so I was looking at Glendora, right? That's where you're from?
Right.
Is that like a subsidy of LA? It's like close to LA.
Yeah, but the traffic is horrible. It's like
Wait,
40 minutes
Glendora or,
from
I get
from LA. Yeah, but there are times where like it'll take us like an hour, 2 hours to get there just because the traffic in LA is crazy.
But out there, you wouldn't necessarily say you're from LA.
Yeah, no.
Because that's more like downtown.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm from LA.
What's it like in Glendora? What's that like?
Did
you go up there your whole life?
Yeah. It's quiet, pretty safe, very safe neighborhood, I think. Now I'm not so sure what it's like because, the world is so different now. But, yeah, it was safe. It's pretty, gets hot. But I liked where I grew up, for sure.
And you're away from there so much now, right? Like, it's more of just a place you get to visit now?
Yeah. But I like Colorado, too. Even though the weather's kind of crazy and stuff. I don't
like bipolar weather.
Yeah, I don't like the snow. I will not drive in the snow. If it's raining too hard, I'm not driving. I'm paranoid. Like, I'm scared. So I'm just like, nope, I'm not doing it.
That's funny.
But
So
they do have pretty days here.
How long have you been now living in Colorado?
Too long.
Long time?
A long time. I've been coming here since I was 16, back and forth.
Oh, wow.
And then when I was 17, I had to get homeschooled, and I was living here as a resident at the training center. And it was just so much traveling, like I had to get homeschooled. So I would train in Colorado, then I would go to a competition, and then instead of going back home to California, I would fly right back to Colorado, train again, fly to a competition, and it was just like, it was a lot. And then I lived here when I was 19, when I was with the military, for like 2 years. And then I moved to Virginia. And then I moved back to California when I was 24. Maybe I was turning 25 already. Yeah.
Let's go back to that because I just realized we didn't really talk about you coming back. When you came back, you're seeing the stuff on Instagram like I should be back.
Right.
And how was that a quick decision? Or was it kind of like it was just like, boom, I'm out of here. I'm going back.
It was quick, but then I did have like some delays because I was like, I'm so out of shape. Like, this is going to be hard. So then there were times like I would take like 2 days off or 3 days off. But now, like, once I told myself in that moment, like, I need to get back. That's when I started thinking more of the stuff like, nah, I need to do this.
And when you come back, how does that work? Do you just come back like, hey, Team USA, take me back?
No, I had to go to nationals.
So you had to go start all the way from the bottom again. And how'd you train? Who were you training with?
My dad.
So you came back?
I came back to Cali, and I was training with my dad and, the kids in the gym and, my brothers and stuff. And I went to nationals, and I won. I fought 3 times. I won nationals. I was at a higher weight class, though, because since I did have to cut the weight from how heavy I was at 139 pounds. But I won, and then I was back at camps. We were like competing and traveling and stuff. And then I went down to 132. And then I decided for the next year I was gonna do 125. It's an Olympic weight class, right? Because I just felt like my chances at 125 were gonna be better for me, because the person that was at 132 at that point, she had just won a world gold medal. So I was like, even if I had competed against her before and beat her, but now I took that delay, I took that break, and she was over here winning stuff. She had went to Tokyo for the Olympics, and now she got a world gold medal. So I was like, even if I do go up against her and I win, who's to say they won't do me the same, because now she got this world gold medal for USA Boxing. So I went out on 125, and it was tied between me and my teammate. Shout out to Alyssa. But they took us both to Bulgaria to compete. Was it Bulgaria? Yeah, Bulgaria, I think. Anyways, we had to compete, and they told us, like, whoever gets further in the tournament gets the spot at 125. She got one day further than me. And I was like, damn, like, I lost my spot, right? So I was affected, but at the same time, I was like, I'm not letting this affect me the same way that it did before. Like, I need to work harder. And I just kind of started trusting God and really just trying to stay positive in situations. And I was just telling myself, like, okay, at the end of the year, I'm gonna go to the trials, and I'm gonna work my way back, and I'm gonna go to camp, and I'm gonna get selected. Like, I was just like manifesting all this stuff. And then I get a call, and they asked me if I would be willing to move up to 132 pounds again. They were like, you'll still be a number 2, but just in case anything happens, you being in that number 2 spot, like, you'll be bumped up to number 1. And I was like, so basically you're asking me to go from a number 2 at 125 to a number 2 at 132.
Yeah.
I was in my head like, no, like,
Yeah, how does
just
that
leave
make
it
sense
alone.
exactly?
Like, but like I said, I had to trust God, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I go to camp, and I'm competing against this other girl that also wants to be in the number 2 spot. And I win, you know, I do what I have to do, I win. And then a few days later, they told me that the spot was open at 132 pounds.
A few days later. Wow.
After like the selection of me being like number 2 now. Because I was in camp. And I was like,
and why is that, though?
wow, this is a blessing. Like, the person just wasn't on the team anymore. So
wow.
I was just like, okay, like, this is a blessing. And I told myself, I'm not letting, like, who gets second chances like this, really? So then that was in June. And then I just started training harder and harder, and I was just trying to stay focused. And then I qualified in October.
Wow. And that whole journey from you coming back to you where you are now, how long did that take?
I came back in 2022.
So 2 years. And your break was how long?
Almost 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you took, and that was due to COVID, right? Because I wanted that
first year off.
Yeah, but then
then COVID happened, so then that ended up being 2. And then by the time by the end of the year, it was like, yeah.
And then it was like, well,
so
we did 2 years, might as well do 2 more years. And then it just kept going. So 2 years to come back, that's pretty quick, I would say. That's a quick turnaround, especially when considering you're competing against people that didn't take a break, didn't stop. And
that's what I'd be thinking about, though. I think to myself all the time, like, if I didn't, because, like you said, it is a quick turnaround. If I didn't take that break, how much more advanced would I be right now?
So you feel like maybe if you could go back, you wouldn't do that? You wouldn't take that break?
Nah, I think I needed it just for my mental health. Like,
it sounds like you learned a lot during that time.
I did. And like I said, like, I'm a person that always says, like, everything happens for a reason. And I kind of like to look at everything as, like, blessings in disguise. Even though it took longer than what I had expected it to take, I did learn a lot. And I feel like it just made me who I am.
And it helped you
today, really.
Probably prepare for this moment and be able to take like that first kind of loss that you said on the chin and be like, nah, this is part of the process. Like,
yeah, that's what I tell myself all the time. Like, it's all part of my story. It's part of the process. Like, I just got to embrace it.
There's a big thing about that, like trust in the process, that sometimes in the moment you're just like, I don't get it. Why is it like this?
Yeah.
And then later on you're like, I get it now. Have you had that moment yet?
Really, yeah, I think once I didn't get kicked off. Once I wasn't on the team because I lost my spot at 125, that's when I started trusting my process for real. Where I was like, everything happens for a reason. It's not what I want, but God knows what he's doing. And just me just trusting the process, trusting God, staying positive in those situations. I promise you, like, everything just started falling into place. It was just
Well, it
crazy.
seems like a, funny coincidence. Like they asked you to move up that weight, and then right away it turned around and ended up being a good deal right away.
Yeah.
Do you think that's are you a person that believes in destiny and all that stuff? You think it was all written?
Yeah, for sure.
So you're just like, well, this is how it's supposed to go. This is my purpose, is to. Did you feel that too when you were on your break? Like, no, this is my purpose. Like, I need to go back. Like, I need to chase what I'm doing, because you're kind of there, just kind of not.
Yeah, when I was working that job, I
go to work, you come back.
I was like, I wasn't born to live like this. Like, I should be traveling the world and, living my dream and doing what I love, which is boxing. Like, it's everything I've known my whole life. And I definitely was sitting there like, nah, this isn't for me. This isn't what I was born to do. Work a regular job. Like, no.
When you came back, was it like riding a bike or
no?
It was it harder? Way harder?
No, I was like, there were times where I was kind of doubting myself, like, damn, like I don't feel like 100%, like I don't feel ready, like type of thing. But then towards like the ending of my training, I started feeling sharper and sharper, and that's just trust in the process. You're gonna have your bad days where you don't feel the sharpest or you don't feel like your best, but trust the process, keep it going, stay consistent, and then eventually, like I said, everything just falls into place.
And when you won your first tournament, was it like winning for the first time all over again? Or was it kind of like the same mindset, like, no, I got more work to do?
Yeah, once I was in shape and stuff, I was like, just another day.
Like,
it was just, everything just comes natural to you.
Were you battling, so you were battling a level of self-doubt of like, coming back and training against these other people that have been doing it consistently.
Oh no, I was confident.
Yeah.
I was confident, but I was like, am I trash? Like, just being honest.
Yeah.
Just being honest. Like, there were times where I felt slow. Like, why am I throwing so slow? But always confident.
That's good. So at what point do you end up not training with your dad and going to the coaches, or is that not how that works? The coaches. So you're still training with your dad?
Yeah, when I'm home, I train with my dad.
When you're in Springs, you're training with. Do you train directly with Billy Walsh, or who are you training with directly?
Everybody. All the coaches.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's that been like? I'm sure it's a different experience to be training with those coaches and also training with the other people on the team that are an elite or qualified Olympians right now.
Mm-hmm. My teammates.
Yeah, that's probably a different experience to train next to them, right?
For sure. I think I like how like everybody sees different things that you can improve on, and they work on you with stuff like that. But even that too, like my team's my family. Like, we all love and respect each other, and we all, we go to war for each other. So you talking crazy, you will hear me. But now, like, we all protect each other and we all look out, and we see our mistakes too sometimes. So there are times where we'll tell each other, like, stop doing this, do this, like, and we'll give each other pointers or whatever. But yeah, it's great. I love having like a big separate family. Like,
yeah, and I saw that too when during the matches, it almost seemed like you kind of have like this like big sister role with some of them, especially people like Jenny. You know,
Oh yeah, my little Jenny
you
Jen
get super
and
passionate
Mo.
when they jump up there, and you start chatting and telling them things from the stands, and then
Yeah.
I see the other teammates from the other team saying something, and you're like, no, no, no. I seen that, so I thought that was really cool to see how much you really care.
Yeah, I've been told before that I'm like very motherly, and like one of the coaches before has told me too that I'm like the mama bear of like the team, and I ride for people that I love, so I'm always have your back as long as you do the same, you know. But even then too, like if you don't, like that's just who I am. Like once we locked in, like we locked in.
Yeah.
But yeah, me, Jen, Josh, Roscoe, I think on the team we're the ones that like are always like together type of thing. But Jenny and Mo for sure. They're like my sisters for real.
That's cool. That's
so it
really
makes
cool.
Colorado like less stressful, like more fun, just having them around.
Right.
And we're all like doing the same thing. So.
Right. And yeah, I mean, like when I saw you yesterday, you're like, yeah, I gotta go check on Jenny. Like,
yeah.
Is everyone? I'm assuming everyone's like that, because I also saw, shoot, I don't want to say his name wrong, so I'm gonna say it, but I saw two other teammates kind of doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
When one of the heavyweights was fighting, and he's just like, dang man, like I felt that way too when I was standing on the ringside taking photos.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm getting an adrenaline rush, so I'm like, do you guys get that too? Like even someone how many fights have you had? Probably over 100.
I don't know. I lost count.
It
I'm
had to be
probably
so
like in
many.
the 80s or something. I don't think I'm over 100 yet.
But do you still get the jitters and stuff like that? Never.
Never. I never get nervous before I fight. I don't know if that's just like the crazy in me, but if anything, I'm more like anxious to get in there. Like I can't wait to compete type of thing. Like I'm ready. Like I've been training so hard. But when my teammates fight, oh yeah, I get nervous.
Yeah.
Like Jenny was over there fighting, my hands, I was like, why are my hands sweating? Like just kept wiping them on my pants. Like I was nervous.
And like how you were like chanting, I was wondering to myself, like, do you even hear that stuff when you're fighting? Do you even hear everyone like saying stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can hear Mo no matter where we're at.
It's like a whole crowd of people cheering stuff, but you could hear that one voice.
I always hear Mo. And she be knowing what she's talking about. So she be like coaching me and I can hear her.
Yeah.
And I'll do it and it'll land and then I'll hear her like, Jenny hears, like we all hear each other. Our voices are just so distinctive to each other, I think. We're just like always listening. And then I think it's so cute, like I'll see sometimes like at the end of a round, like my teammates will sit there and then I've seen Mo do it a lot. They'll listen to the coaches, whatever, and then as soon as the coaches are done talking and they're getting out the ring, like Mo will stand up and then she'll look into the crowd. But she's like literally just looking for like me and Jen or like Josh or whatever. And like when she makes eye contact and then we'll tell her like, and then she'll just like nod her head and then turn back around and then she goes in there. Like, and I think that was so cute.
I noticed that a lot with the team, a lot of looking back at where you guys were at.
Yeah.
Do you like, I know we say team. Obviously, when you're in the ring, you're by yourself. Do you still feel it's a team sport?
No, I think the sport is very lonely, but you need your team, like
in preparation
after the fact. Yeah, and in preparation too, because we all help each other. We all make each. We're the sharpest boxers for USA. Like So. Iron sharpens iron, We all can learn a little something from everyone.
Right. What are you looking forward to most in Paris? Like,
besides my gold medal.
Yeah, besides your gold medal. Is there any like hangout time, or is it like all work, no play? Or is it's gonna be that way for you?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like that for me. I might go like see some stuff. But nothing crazy, like probably go for a walk or something. But I really do want to see the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, I gotta do that.
There and stuff, so.
You can
I
go
think
over there with your
besides
gold
my
medal.
gold medal, yeah, it would be that, the Eiffel Tower for sure.
And a lot of the people that are here right now, you're gonna see them over there. I'm sure there's other people that you're gonna see new fresh faces over there too.
Yeah.
Or is this everybody?
Oh no,
This
no,
isn't
no.
everybody.
Yeah, this isn't everybody. No, this is just some international.
Are you watching like the other girls in your division for the Paris? Or are you
I should be, but I haven't done that yet.
is that something you plan to do? Is that going to be part of the strategy?
Yeah, for sure.
And with these things, I mean, you're facing someone different every day, so it's like kind of hard to do a strategy, right?
Yeah, but the coaches do a pretty good job in preparing us and stuff. So
that's good. Well, I know we got the tournament coming up soon, so I'm gonna get close to the end here. But I gotta get your opinion. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia are fighting tonight. Ryan Garcia missed weight, chugged a beer on stage.
That's crazy. I've seen that. Oh, God.
What do you think about that?
Honestly, I think I'm not judgmental. You know, I don't like to judge people because I just feel like I've been judged before and I don't like how it feels. And I've been judged when people don't even know what's going on. I honestly think that he's just going through something.
Yeah,
you know,
it seems like that.
And I think he's like asking for help without having to ask for help, and people are just like,
yeah.
And he is trolling. You know, there has been some stuff that I've seen like, oh my God, like he's tripping. But I think he needs help.
Yeah. So you don't see a Ryan Garcia win tonight?
No.
No, me either. There's no way you could go into it that unfocused, right?
Yeah. No, I don't see it.
Do you happen to know any of them? Do you know either of them, those guys?
Yeah, me and Ryan grew up together in the amateurs. Him being from Victorville, we always were like at the same little tournaments.
Oh, cool.
And stuff, but we lost contact because of a toxic relationship.
Oh, okay, it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sure like if I see him, he'd, you know, it would be love. Like he would show love. Like his mom was showing love to me when I qualified. And then Devin, we lost contact way before me and Ryan lost contact because Devin was actually on the team as a junior with me for USA. So we were at camps and stuff together. And then he went pro really quick. So I didn't see him.
He didn't chase gold, huh? Did he?
He didn't what?
He didn't try to go to Olympics, right?
No.
Yeah, no. What is there any people you've met during this time that have stood out to you, or the professional boxer, or anyone that kind of left some advice to you or anything like that kind of sticks with you? Because you've met like some great boxers, I'm pretty sure, right?
For sure. A lot of people have given me some really great advice. I think Clarissa is one of them that's given me really great advice. She was there for me through like a lot of the stuff. But I think really like it's just me really learning from my mistakes that like I like to take my advice, because people can give me advice and sometimes I won't take it because I'm just like, how would you know? Like, you were not in my situation, type of thing. You know, I'm kind of hard-headed like that. But I think I'm the type of person, like, I like to, how they say, fuck around and find out, like, which could be bad, but I like to learn that way. Yeah. And you're probably taking advice. Like, I probably shouldn't do this, but I want to see, like, what the outcome could be, type experience. Of thing. Yeah. And you might take some advice from 2020 you, 2021 you, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. How do you think 2020 you, how proud of you would you be right now? Super proud, I think. I think I've grown a lot and I've changed a lot for the better over the past couple of years. Yeah. And I don't think I give myself enough credit for that. But Mo always reminds me, like, she's like, yo, from when I met you to now, like, I'm proud of you. Like, I'm like, oh, stop. Sometimes I think that's the thing. You know, I've talked to a couple people that are, you know, highly driven. Even myself, I've had to take a moment to tell myself to remember to celebrate the wins, because you don't really,
sometimes you're just like, all right, I got to go to the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think you definitely have so much to be proud about.
Thanks.
Family has so much to be proud about. Glendora, I know you said like, oh, they don't know.
Yeah, I don't really think they know.
They're gonna find out though.
Yeah.
And I actually got you a gift.
Aww.
And it's kind of a little bit part of the podcast here. If I could get the bag open. How do you even open this? Okay, here we go. The podcast is Neighborhood Icons. So
Okay.
I hope you like this, but your official icon
Oh,
of Glendora,
I love
California.
it.
And it's got your name on Neighborhood Icons.
Thank you.
So that's all you.
For sure. I will definitely be wearing. Oh, this is cute. Okay. Definitely gonna be wearing this. I like the font. Okay.
I appreciate you.
This is cute. Thank you.
You're welcome. You know, it's like I told my last guest. I think the greatest gift you could give is the gift of time, because you can't get any more of it back.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate you giving me your time today.
Oh no, for sure. Thank you for having me. This was fun.
And I'll be cheering you on.
For
I'll be
sure.
watching. I'll be following. I'm sad I didn't get to watch you fight this week.
I
but
know. I didn't get to fight.
But
it's okay though. I'm kind of glad I didn't. Now.
Really?
Yeah, after seeing the way the score is going, I'm like, you know what? Everything happens for a reason. I'm glad I didn't fight in this tournament, because I would have, if they would have tried to do me bad, I would have been the type to, like, my coaches were laughing at me, like, I would have been the type to, like, grab the mic, like, I'm gonna let you finish, but I won that fight. Like, I knew I would have been pissed.
that's part of the game too, though. I think that's important to be continually be you all the time, especially with, you know, attention getting on you and stuff.
Oh, I know. I gotta work on it though. My mouth can be a little reckless, and I gotta learn how to control myself. But yeah, as far as that, like, I feel like I'll never change like who I am just because, oh, you're an Olympian, like, you gotta carry yourself better. And it's like, no, if you disrespect me, I'm disrespecting you back.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, just because I'm an Olympian don't mean I'm gonna let you get away with disrespect. I need to, yeah, and yeah, maybe I need to chill sometimes. But.
Well, last question here. What would you tell anybody that's going through any level of self-doubt or feeling like they need to take a step back from something that they're passionate about and they love, that might be in that same dark place?
Yeah.
What would you tell them?
I think I would tell them to just trust the process, trust God, stay positive. I know it's going to be extremely hard sometimes. It does get hard. But, like, it's not over. It's just a bad time. Like, just get through the bad times.
Yeah. There's always a lesson in there somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Prepare you for the next.
Learn from your losses. Don't stay there. I think that was one of my big mistakes. I would stay there instead of learning or wanting to learn. I just seemed low.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Right on. Well, cool. Well, again, thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for next time. Neighborhood Icons.